Today, I'm just going to show you guys how I do the acrylic application, liquid to powder ratio, and how I work with my beads. So I'm going to go ahead and take some napkin. Actually, I like to use a bigger piece. So let's take some napkin here. And the last time I used this hand was to show you guys how to do shapes. So I'll leave that up here if you guys want to check out how to do the shapes. You can check it out in the description. So if you're having trouble with that. Okay, so let's see. So we got a napkin, we got our little brush, and mine is a 12 Kolinsky. I think this is from C&D, which is from Cosmoprof. I don't know. It's really hard for me to find that brush online, but I'll try to see if I can find it. If not, whatever brush you do have, make sure you get a decent brush with Kolinsky hair on it. Let me just get this instead. So I'm going to use a dapping dish today. And what I like to do is put it right here. I'm going to take some Young Nails monomer. This is my favorite monomer. There's a lot of other ones that I like, but to be honest, this is like my number one. Okay, now we got monomer. We got our brush. We got a piece of napkin. And now we can, oh, sorry, and some clear powder. This is just some clear powder. Okay. Now, the powder, we don't want to put on the napkin. I've messed up so many at the bottom of my acrylics from doing that in the beginning of doing nails. So, let's see. All right. So, what I like to do first is clean out my brush. Make sure it's nice and clean. Show you guys here. So, it's coming out smooth. It doesn't have stuff in it. Sometimes when you do nails, you can really mess up your brush. Okay, so I'm just making sure there's no air bubbles and nothing's coming out. First things first, if you know anything about acrylic, you can either do it too wet, too dry, or you could do it just right. So if you're gonna pick up a dry bead, it's because you took off too much like this of the liquid. So when you go in to pick it up, it basically looks like that, and it's a little bit harder. You're not picking up as much as you want, so depending on how much you want to pick up. So for the first bead, we want to get it just right. Because actually, you know what, let me show you. If you pick it up too wet, it's because you put it in there too much and then you didn't really take off too much of that. Unless you were planning to pick up a big bead, you don't want to do that. All right, so I'm wiping my brush off because we just put a little bit of acrylic there. So I'm wiping my brush off, making sure nothing's on there. So it's all clean right there. All right, and let's see. All right, so I'm going to, now that the nails are prepped, we're pretending they're prepped, I'm going to go ahead and apply some primer. This helps adhere the acrylic to the natural nail, and after you file it off, obviously, then it should be good to go. So let's do this nail first to practice our little beads here. All right, so what you do, let me pull this up a little bit, is you're gonna go into your monomer, and it's like focused over there, so give me a second. You're gonna go into your monomer, and I'm just gonna take off a little bit. And you kind of put it on the opposite side, so that means on this side is where I want to pick it up. So let's shake this back up, and we're going to grab our bead, and I like to drag it slightly to pick up enough. Sometimes, depending on the consistency you got, it should look like this, glossy, right? And then you should be able to apply it, and it should be able to level out because it should be a good bead. In the room, I turned off the AC, so I know I have to work just a little bit faster today, depending on the temperature. So remember that if your room seems to be a little bit on the colder side, then that means your beads are going to basically be more on the liquidy side. They're not going to harden as fast. If your room, your space is not as cold and it's on the hotter side. I live in Florida, you guys, so right now I turn off the AC. It's already kind of getting hot in here a little bit. It's warm in here, so I know that I'm gonna have to be working a little bit harder. I'm sorry, a little bit faster. So once again, I'm gonna remove some, not too much. Let me do that again. I go in, remove a little bit, go into the powder and pick up, sorry, let me do that again. Go in a little bit, remove some liquid, pick up a good amount. And that's what it looks like. It's not too dry, it's not too wet. When you put it on there, it should go on there. Put a little bit more liquid because the room's a little hot. So the first bead, I'm putting it right there where the nail, yeah, it's hot in here, y'all. It's going too fast for me. Okay, 1 second, 1 second. I don't know if I should just, because I'm not used to working with no AC, to be honest, you guys. I do that sometimes so that the sound of the air doesn't go into the video. But let's try this again. Let's see. Pick up the bead. Remove some liquid, not too much. Pick up the bead. So I got to put it on right much faster now because we know it's a little bit hot up in here. So then I'm bouncing it towards the end and I'm pointing my nail down, and because it's going a little fast, I'm going to be pushing that down. I just like to let gravity help me a little bit here. I'm gonna grab a little bit more. My brush is not the biggest brush, so depending on the brush size that you have, it's gonna really affect your application. I just got used to using this brush, you guys. I've used huge brushes. Let me show you. Like this. This one's more narrow, you can see. And then this one's on the medium side, but I don't know. I love this brush, even though it's not so big. It's all right with me. All right, so I got those little areas done. I'm not using a method. I'm just showing you guys how to actually complete the nail. I'll show you the method on this one if you want. I'll do like a 3-ball method, but to be honest, I don't ever go by a method. I used to do that and I would drive myself crazy. But you can if you want to. Let me grab another bead. Place it right there where the natural nail and the fake nail meet. Just above that one. And you bring it down. And because this is an almond, we're kind of like pushing the sides in a little bit. So it looks like that now. Okay. Take another bead. Grab another bead. And this one I'm going to place right here, right above that one. And push it up a little bit, spread it, bring it out. Now you want to check your apex. So you want your apex to be strong right there. I don't think I have a strong enough apex, so I'm just going to add a little bit. That's okay. Grab a little bit more product to bring all that together, and I'm actually just going to apply it right there. And I'm going to be turning on the air for the rest of these because it is so hot in here, so I can actually show you, because I'm pretty sure even nail techs in Florida, we don't work with no AC, so give me a second. Okay, so I turned on the AC. Now you're going to see the change in the little beads, and hopefully it doesn't sound too much here while I'm showing you guys, but I do have a mic, so it'll probably try to take it out. Most of the sound of the AC should be out. Okay, so it looks pretty good. We got it in all areas. All right, and then I'm going to show you how to do it on this coffin one next. So once again, we're going to dip in to get some liquid. I'm going to do that again. On the side, I'm removing the liquid. On the opposite, which is that part here, that's where most of my liquid is going to stay, and then that way I can pick it up. So if your brush is dropping too much, like if you're going like this and there's still a lot of liquid, that means you're going to have too much of a liquidy bead, and it's going to be too hard to do your nail. So you go ahead and you release them, You grab some more. Should look like that. It's polymerizing very nicely. And the first bead I'm going to do is right here at the bottom. This is for coffin. And spread it out. And bring it down. It's still not as cold yet because I just turned the AC on. But you see how much easier though? Not easier because it's drying fast, but versus it being too wet is what I'm trying to say, that if it was too wet, it would be way harder to do this now because it'll just be seeping everywhere. I like to push the sides, make sure, and then bring it down, like feather it down. So yeah, because it hardened quickly still, we still got to get a little bit more. So to grab a littler bead, you want to go all the way to the bottom and release that much so that only a little bit is on the bottom of the brush. And you're going to grab a little bit like that. So there's not too much liquid on the brush, making you pick up too much product. You're picking up just what you need. And you want to bring that up to blend it together. And you can look at it from the sides. Push it up a little bit. So now that's what it looks like, much better. It's all the way full down there. So then another bead we're going to take and we're going to place that on top. Okay. Take another bead, release. Let me clean this a little bit more. Grab some liquid. Let me shake this. If you don't shake this, it's hard to pick up better beads. Grab some liquid. Place it right there, right on top of that one. And start putting it to the sides and bringing it down. If you live in cold areas, you would find that yourself having trouble with your product drying, and versus somebody in Florida in a hotter climate, you have a problem with it drying too fast. Alright, so then that's what it looks like now. So now we're going to grab another bead. You could either add it like this. I kind of like to do it sometimes sideways depending, because it is a more narrow space. Push it to the sides and bring it up and blend. Make sure you're pushing it to the sides. And then right here, we got a little bit we need to add, so we're removing a lot of liquid to pick up a smaller bead. There we go. And we do have some space right there, so we're gonna grab another little bead because there's still space right there. And I'm not actually removing any liquid on my napkin because of the fact that I'm trying to be more conscious about what bead I need and how much liquid I should pick up in the beginning. To clean it up a little bit, you can use the little tip of your brush and go around just a little bit. Now we have all the beads on there. It did come out a little thick, but we are going to be removing it. But you see where the stress point is? It looks pretty good. It's going down at a slope in a sense, but we are going to be filing it, so it's going to look different once we file. But you just want to make sure that all the zones are full of the product and filled. So this is the first, second, and third, for instance. So remember, I didn't put primer on the other one, but anyways, let's put our primer. Some people like to put the primer right before adding the bead on each one too. Okay, so grab a bead towards you. You're gonna drag. Grab it again because that one was not good. Shake this up. Okay, remove some. Grab a bead. Looks like that. Perfect. Put it down. Start using gravity. Face your nail finger down and start brushing that down. And I'm using the belly of the brush to help me do that. That has some more strength to help me drag it down. All right, that looks pretty good. I always just seem to have to add a little bit at the bottom, but that's okay. We all have our methods, you guys. I hate when people are always like, that's not the way you do it, or that's not the right method. If you're putting it on, applying it properly, you're doing the right method, as long as it comes out right. Okay, I like to clean my brush off a lot, guys, just because that's how you make better beads. All right, so you grab another one and then place that on top and drag it down. See how I'm cleaning my brush as I'm dragging it down? It just makes it easier to work with. Take another one, place that one right on top, and I think this one we may not have to put another bead on top. We just push this one up towards the cuticle and bring it down. A little up and bring it down. Belly of the brush to brush it down. If you have to clean it up for whatever reason, you just use the tip and you go around. Then you want to look at it like this. I feel like I need a little bit, just a tiny bit on my stress area, you guys. Just a tiny bit right there and bring it down. All right. And I'm using clear just so you guys could see what it looks like. Okay, now we are running out of monomer. It's hard to pick up any liquid like that, so I'm gonna add some more monomer. All right, let's add the primer. Now it looks like that. Grab your first bead, and you're gonna see it on the clear a lot different. So we got our bead, put it right there. Clean off our brush and grab a little bit more liquid to help us drag it down. Point the finger down, spread it evenly as well. Keep it intact inside, and then point the finger back down. Make the product do what you want it to do. I'm gonna pat it down so that all the sides are getting in there on the corners. The only reason I'm bringing it up is so that I can see what's going on there too, and then you can keep bringing the product down. And then I like to have this tapered square really flush and tight on the sides. So that is why when I used to do clients, I used to just press here, press there. Add a little at the tip if I need it, because it was not looking very good. There wasn't a lot going on there. And then just bring it up. All right. Kind of like push that in a little bit. Okay. And right here, there isn't some there, but that's okay because I still have to finish file this better. But as far as up here, it looks great. I'm gonna grab another bead, shake that up, grab another bead. Place it right there. It's not flooding on the sides. It's not hardening too fast. It's doing what I needed to do. Keeping it in, grabbing the last bead here, placing it on top. Making it like a little ball that's going to be able to spread out, and then you can start bringing that ball down. And then you're like, it's kind of like I'm doing a V formation when I'm brushing it into the sides. All right. And then let's see it from the side. Yep, it's all filled in. Good to go. All right, so I'm going to show you on the square now one more time. Let's grab the primer. Yeah, guys, don't forget to check out the video where I show you how to do all the different shapes. I think it's like pretty easy and comprehensible so that everybody can learn if you're starting off, if you're new, if you have a little problem with a certain shape. Okay, into liquid, release some liquid, pick up the bead, I drag it towards me, place it at the bottom. Oop. I'm gonna grab some more liquid because it's gonna dry too fast, I can tell right now. All right, there we go, and drag it down. Oop. Pat it up. Let's even that out a little. Clean my brush, bring it down. Pat it on the bottom, pat it on the sides. Do an even pat from side to side, side to side. This is just helping me bring the product and disperse it evenly. And then a little glide at the bottom, feathering that down. There's like a little thing there. Okay. I'm gonna add just a little bit of product right there. I feel like it needs it. Let me see. Yeah, I got it. Okay, let's grab another bead. I'm gonna quickly put it there since this is drying faster. The powder is clear, so all of them do work a little bit differently. Bringing that down, keeping it in like a V formation, going from side to side, and you can bring it down. All right, cleaning the brush constantly because we want to work with the clean brush. Bringing another bead, placing it on top. It looks like it's forming into a little ball. Pushing it up and bringing it down. With the belly of the brush, it's the strongest, so if it's drying fast, that's the part you want to use. With the tip of the brush, it's like you're putting more detail into certain things, like when you're cleaning up around the cuticle. All right, I'm gonna grab a little tiny bead and add it to that area because there's still something missing there, and you want to bring it down. I'm gonna clean it up right there. Then you want to look at it from the side and see like, okay, does it need anything? I think it looks fine, but right here, there's not a lot of stress area. So always look into that. I'm going to add it right here where the stress area should be and like bounce it up a little bit and help it come down. So it's not a hard thing to fix. All right. Clean up my brush. I'm gonna move it this way just to take a look. Okay, so I see some Missing part here too at the bottom again, so let's spread it out to the sides and bring it up. That's what makes it easier. And that is it. I personally don't always use those tips, the natural tips, but if you use, one of them came off. Hold on, it's my almond. But if you like to use the clear, you can see what that looks like on the pointer. That's the tapered square. All right, so that's all of them. And then let's put this away. I'm going to show you guys how I actually file the nails. Okay, so I need to grab my hand file here. So to file the almond, we're going to go from one side. And I'm using the more coarser side, you guys. This is a 100/180 file, so I'm using the 100 side. So I go to the side first, 1, 2 to even it out. And then I take the softer side to go under, or either side of your choice. Because there's stuff that goes under there after the acrylic application, so you need to reshape it back nicely. And then you go back and fix that little rounded curvature at the bottom of an almond. Make sure it's evened out. All right. And then for the coffin, let's draw it. Okay. Do the same thing. Do the sides. Once you feel like they look nice and even, you go under. And I'm not trying to pay too much attention there now because I'm trying to remove most of that product right there. So that's why we angle it a little bit, you see? And then the tip, I kind of like to not leave it like this or straight, but just a little bit going in that way. Okay, then we have the stiletto. So this is easy. This is side, and go under, remove whatever excess is under there. All right. This is the taper. Tapered, you want to keep it straight forward. Other side, try to keep it as straight as possible. And then here you want to make sure that it's straight as well. So make sure this is straight here. All right. And I still got to return these up. Actually, I have to reverse them so you can see. But here you want to take off here. So in order to get it straight, you want to make sure that this is aligned, and then that you're not focusing too much on there either. Just making sure that it's going at a straight line. And then you're removing whatever's left under there. Okay. All right, and then for the square, that's so easy. You just do the bottom, do the sides. Because this is just like a regular square. Nothing too crazy going on here. You all know what a square looks like, so just make sure you keep it at a square. And then don't forget to go under here to line that up as well. And do the opposite. Alright, line it up again. So my favorite thing to do is turn the nails around. This one is, sorry, not that one. This is an almond, so we don't really need to do much, but if you want, you can take a look at it backwards and look at it and say, oh, okay, that looks even. If it's not, you can take your file and start fixing that. For the coffin, I like to take my horse part of it, hold the hand forward and remove, like, it's hard to show you here, but like at an angle, try to straighten that out. This is how I like to do it. I take my file, I bend it just a little bit like this to make it straight, and remove any excess, which the e-file will also help us remove excess. And then let's see if it's to our liking. Okay. Right here you can also see if you need to strain anything out. If you guys were having trouble with acrylic application, I hope this video helped you guys a lot. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.